Middle of the metcon yesterday, he looks over and goes, "Just so you know, I'm doing 70 calories." I was like, okay.
Well, I know that you knew I stopped at 80, so I didn't want you to think that I was doing your calorie numbers.
I know, I'm just fucking with you. How are your arms so long?
This is pretty high.
How do you get your hands and your feet the way that they are?
Do you make people jump on this for workouts?
You don't see. You can just do a burpee get over Carol. Like a leapfrog.
Burpee bumper, Carol?
No, thank you. What are you doing for weight? 75?
Well, that's why I asked if you were gonna bounce that, because it's gonna... 95 is gonna put me in a grave, Carol.
Oh.
Wax on.
Wax off.
Hatchet's doing that.
Can't be put in a graveyard.
Yeah, but Hatchet's only doing 6 reps. Now I have to do 8. We gotta show the people what cardio is supposed to
8
look
at
like.
95?
Yeah, dog, that's like a fucking 1 rep max. Alright, fine.
What is happening?
The first week of games training, you were like all in, like did a real good job. Now it's every week you scale further and further.
I modified it so that I could
Beat me.
Should we say what the workout is?
Probably.
What's the workout, Carol?
6 rounds, 12 wall balls, 30 pounds for bumper, 20 pounds for me, 8 hang power snatches, 95, 70, and 4 burpee get overs, 48 and 40 inches
doing it.
for time. Did I say that? 6 rounds? 12, 8, 4.
It's true. That's the workout. Get on that frame, bro. Get on your mark. It's out in the parking lot.
Looks heavy.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Misfit HQ. Games prep is in full swing. Caroline is tackling a short conditioning / cardio piece, and Hunter is continuing to be, it's not test dummy, but it's something dummy. He's gonna work out side by side with her, and we thought it'd be a really good opportunity to talk to you guys about the stimulus itself, and then what that would mean and how you could even personalize it even further. So for Hunter, he's going into this knowing that if it is that style of piece, it means that we are unbroken on movements, but we're not trying to be frantic. We're trying to move through them at a steady pace, and then we are focusing a lot on transitions. When it comes to Caroline, she's obviously going for the same thing, but if there was something that I wanted her to focus on more, it would be the wall balls. It would be really taking the time to get herself into good positions, go unbroken there, and then if she has to dial back the burpee get overs or something like that, something she's really good at, that's not really a big deal. Hunter, what are you going to be doing to try and keep up on a piece where it's supposed to be unbroken?
I think I'll be able to move pretty steadily through all of it. It's going to be more about being methodical with transitions. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me to try to pick up the barbell as fast as possible after the wall balls, even though it's a small set. If I go too fast throughout, the first round or two, that quickly turns into basically becomes like a gas stimulus. So I'm gonna probably be a little bit slower on the transitions while also trying to be games test dummy for Caroline, so she's got her female counterpart chasing her. But yep, a handsome lady. I do have the headband and the crop top, flip flop. So yeah, we're gonna try to be methodical with the transitions while also trying to kind of keep up with her a little bit more.
Do you think I'll keep up?
I don't know.
That was nice.
Depends on, I don't know. I think he might actually start out a little too hot.
That's what I was thinking. I think I'll keep up for about 3 rounds. Fuck, enjoy editing all this shit, Ted. Jesus.
just can be so deceiving what they do to your arms. Crazy.
Let's go, Hunter. Let's go. This one. Got it. Nice job. Let's go. Get those knees up high. It was definitely a consistent like breathing the whole time, but it really just came down to shoulder burn for me, making sure that when I picked that up I could hold on to all 12.
I saw a few things. I'll tip my cap to Hunter. It definitely was a gas stimulus, but he kept up in a way that you would want as like his sole purpose is essentially training partner. He was able to keep it within the window, so it wasn't inappropriate for him. It was just a slightly different stimulus. I think one thing with movements like the burpee get over too is they're deceiving. There's this massive metabolic demand of traveling from I'm on the ground to getting up to going over it. But the thing that impacts you the most is the fact that you have to really kind of sweep over and pull, like old school, like bodybuilding, like
Like a bar muscle up, really.
yeah, exactly. It's like the pull down version of the shoulder raise. So you get that, and if you're dynamic every time, that's how you're gonna feel. CrossFitters are used to the, breathing that they have, especially with this sort of rep scheme. It's on my mind because we just shot the podcast about volume and what happens to athletes that are doing certain things, and Caroline is working right now with all of her energy systems coming together to a point, and when you do that, the exponential growth happens like every workout, because you're pulling from all these different skills and pieces. They come together and you can use all of them on the workout, so it affects how you flush between movements, your transitions, how you're doing all of these things. And then she can speak to it more, but I'm sure that when you cross the threshold into the gym as a games athlete, there's potentially maybe a different feeling mentally as well.
There's definitely no shortage of motivation for me. I think this being like, I'm still kind of riding that high of qualifying just in general. So it's been pretty easy for me to come in and just like check things off the list. But I remember when I was talking to you about like, I don't know, before the open or quarterfinals, where it was like my breathing feels great, and now it's just like I can't push more because like my muscles aren't keeping up. And I'm starting to see that like come together in workouts, which is super cool. That's like the first time that I've ever really experienced that type of progress, where it's just like actually happening, physically. So it's cool to be able to like push through something like that and feel my breathing as hard as it is, but it didn't really feel like my heart rate was ever up too high, and it just came down to like my muscles trying to keep up with how fit I am right now.
We've definitely modified the fasted cardio a bit to the point where like I believe so much in get yourself off of a seat or like be in a fixed position on the ski erg. I think everyone needs to go run. So that's like one box that you check off. But when we have tools like the ski erg, where it's like one of the only things where we can develop slow twitch and endurance in our upper body, and we have something like that, and then the C2 bike, which does the exact same thing for the lower body, you're able to connect those things and bring them back. And then you're like, well, skiing at like basically zero speed on the ski erg for an hour, like how does that do something? Well, her arms hurt and she doesn't really care. Like, so it makes a difference. Yeah. We typically only see that with like people who come into the sport from swimming or rock climbing or all these weird things where they had a lot of upper body stimulus. So the ski erg has helped a lot in that, doing the the long slow heart rate work translates over to here, which is,
I think that's probably one of my favorite heart rate pieces is on the ski erg.
I can.
Which is like everyone's like you're insane, but like Austin agrees
I can
too.
I don't want to say
You just,
I'm
like,
meditating
zone- yeah,
on
no, you
there, but
zone
it's
out. It's
so like you get into you'll knock out like a 2K by accident. Like, of course you get a few of those over the course of 60 to 90 minutes, but like you'll look down and you're basically paying attention to your heart rate the whole time, making sure that's staying in the right range, and all of a sudden you've gone for another 10 minutes like that.
Hi. Unlike Caroline, my arms hurt, and I did care. But no, today, so I did the MFT version of today. I was like moderately bullied into it, but I knew that doing it would start to teeter on the line of like kind of the stimuli that we were after between cardio or conditioning and like a gas tank workout. And you could probably see, like, if you rewind it, like the last 2 rounds, like if that were 4 rounds, that would have been like right on my threshold of cardio. Rounds 5 and 6, I really needed that additional rest. And I think it's because it's important to remember, if you're a hatchet athlete and you're like debating between, you know, a version of a workout like MFT or hatchet or something like that, you can't look at the movements in a silo. So I could do 12 wall balls with a 30-pounder pretty easily. I can do 8 hang power snatches. I can do 4 burpee get overs. Like, each of those movements individually are things that I can do. So you kind of sum to yourself like, oh, I can do these 3 things, therefore I can do the workout, but you weren't including kind of the stimulus, the target time frame, and that sort of thing. So for me, like, I would have been able, but would have been just as well off. Maybe it's like a 25-pound ball and like an 80 or 85-pound hang power snatch, which would have maybe fatigued my upper body a little bit less and allowed me to keep going. So don't, just because you can do individual movements doesn't mean you should, because when they add together, we're after a stimulus. This wasn't a wall ball workout. This wasn't a hang power snatch workout or a burpee get over workout. It was a cardio workout with a specific time domain attached to it. So keep that in mind when you're deciding what version of the piece to do, and you'll be better for it long term. See you guys. Nice. Awkward.
Thanks.